point in the evening where we are going to award the first ever winner of the Dylan Bennett Award. Now, I wanted to just say a few words about the award before we start. It'd be very easy for me to come up here and tell you some stories about Dylan and tell you about how, when I first started, he was the guy out in the field that showed me how to do actual tasks like putting wheels on a bin, etc., how to fill in a timesheet. And I could tell you about all of that. But what I wanted to do is just tell you a little story to link it into the Dylan Bennett Award and try and explain exactly what this award means and what we're doing this evening. So, when I first started for the company in my very first season, it was probably maybe my third or the fourth job that I'd done. Dylan and I were going somewhere together, and he was obviously towing his caravan, and he gave me a lift. And I think it was, Ed might be able to tell you, but I think it was a Bromley car show, I believe it was called. And it was the second time that I'd ever met Dylan and ever worked with him. And obviously, I was like many newbies, like you guys might be, or some people might be. I didn't know anything about working at events or camping at events or anything that I needed. So I'd gone down to Argos, like you do, cheapskate, got myself a little two-man tent. Just ordered a two-man tent and they got, that'll be fine. I've ordered that. Now, obviously, at the time, I didn't really appreciate that the two men in question were probably Ronnie Corbett and Warwick Davies, but I thought that I was going to be fine with my little tent. And Dylan said to me, set up your tent, I'll set up the caravan, and then once we're both done, in about 15 minutes time, we'll have a drink together. I'll come and bring you a drink. So obviously I set up my little two-man tent, as I'm sure anyone knows and appreciates. It took me about 5 minutes. Dylan faffed around putting down the legs of the caravan for about 2 hours or whatever, but there you go. And then he came and he brought me a beer to my tent. And at that point, I had the door open to my tent and I was laying down and I had my sleeping bag. I had a little blow-up travel pillow that I'd got from somewhere. I had nothing else and I was playing a game on my phone. And he came and he approached and he looked through the door and he looked at me. And he looked almost, I don't want to say angry, but disappointed. He just looked round at me and he said, "Are you effing joking?" And he walked off. And let's just say he came back in, we'll say a couple of minutes for the sake of the story. But he came back in a short time later and he bought me a camp bed, 2 pillows and a blanket. And he said, "Listen, you can't sleep in that. You're working away in jobs. You can't go with that." And I said, "That's great, thank you very much. I'll make sure I'll give it back to you at the end of the job." And he said, No. You keep that, that's yours now. I'll find that from somewhere else. You need your comfort. And that was great. And then probably about a week after that, the next job that I did, he was like, "Well, you're in the caravan for me from now on. That's it, you're with me." And he would give me a lift everywhere and I was in the caravan with him. And I'm telling this story because I wanted to illustrate what the Dylan Bennett Award is about. When we decided that we wanted to honour our friend and colleague by having a Dylan Bennett Award, it only seemed natural that that award would link in to exactly Dylan's principles and his qualities and everything that he held important. And that was looking out for people, going that extra mile and doing things for other people. At the end of the day, anyone can show you how to put wheels on a bin or how to fill in a timesheet, but not many people can tell you or show you how to be a decent human being. And Dylan was one person that could show you that. And I know that because not only did he do it for me on that occasion, and I'd seen him do it for dozens of other occasions, but he taught me how to be a better human being as well. So when we started the award, we decided that that's what the award would be about. It would be about people doing things for people that they were doing not because they were paid to, not because they were the team leader or the manager, not because someone had said look out for someone, but just those little simple things about being decent and looking out for other people. When we started the award, what we said is, if someone's done this for you, nominate someone. You can email in, you can do it in the staff survey, you can nominate someone. And then when it came to it, we didn't sit around as an office team and say, okay, let's narrow this down. We've had so many nominations, let's narrow this down to however many people we've got. What we wanted to do is we wanted to recognise every single person that was nominated. So we released that Facebook post, that social media post to show every single person was nominated. Because whether or not you know that person, you might not even like that person, but someone somewhere else felt that someone has done that kind thing for that person that they feel that they want to be recognised. and they wanted to nominate that person. And they have emailed us and they made the effort because it's touched their life, or they've appreciated it enough that they want it recognised. So we released the list of all the nominees. Now, obviously, the downside of any award that you have is that we do have to pick a winner. But I'm sure that in a few minutes' time, when we announce who that winner will be, you'll see why it was that winner, and everyone in this room will agree that that is a worthy winner, and it was actually not as hard a decision, or not as difficult as it could have been for us. Now, I've said enough. I just wanted to tell you what the award was about. I know some of you might not have known Dylan, but I wanted to understand what the legacy of this award is, and it's not a one-off. This award will carry on year after year. But we've got a couple of special people, Kamala and Fred, to present the award tonight. And they're going to say a couple of words, they're going to present the award. So I'm just going to pass it over to them now. So if you'd like to come up, we're going to present the winner of the first ever, which is more prestigious than anyone else. It's a great thing to win the award, full stop, and to be the first ever winner of the Dylan Bennett Awards. Can we just have a round of applause and welcome our special guest to the stage, please?
Hello, good evening, everyone. I have to say that I'm absolutely deeply touched by this award on behalf of Dylan, and I appreciate the good sentiments and the love that you all felt for him. I have to say I haven't met very few. I have met very few of you, but over the years I have heard a lot about everybody, on all the different events. Dylan looked upon his crew and his staff at DC as his extended family, and thereby you lot became my extended family. I used to hear about his frustrations, his good exploits, the lot, and it's lovely to see some faces. And I know wherever he is, he's looking down and having a good old rave and thinking things that you know what he used to think about. So yes, it's a great honour and a great privilege to be here this evening with you all.
Would you like to open
Okay, and here we go. And the winner with 10 out of 39 total nominations is David Hart.